As an artist, I think I'm a student. And I've always been a student. Always observing, watching things, looking at them, how they move, how they are stationary, from small objects to large. Observation, I think, I would say. I'm an observer of life. Jab se hosh samale, I always knew I wanted to be an artist. But the opportunity didn't come for very long. But I think I was absorbing like a sponge, preparing myself without knowing it for the day when I would become, or not would become an artist, but would start the journey of an artist. What inspired me to begin my journey was all the artwork in the house. And I was very lucky to be introduced to the Bengal school right from the time when I was very, very little, because my father went to Doon school and he had a teacher called Mr. Khastagir who belonged to the Bengal school. And because my father loved art and because we had so much art in the house, it was just normal for me to look at paintings, sculpture, to see my mother arranging flowers, arranging the dining table. Every little thing in my life was artistic from the beginning. And I was, I think, observant enough to understand that we had a beautiful home. And I think that is what led me to this line. Well, actually, that's in a sense, I would say, a tragedy, or maybe not. But I was sent to a boarding school when I was 5 years old. So my biggest influences were very different. There was beauty in the church. I was in a convent. There were so many things that I was exposed to at home, but completely different things when I left the home for school. And so I was constantly looking at the difference between the beautiful things from the West and the beautiful things in our own country. And I could see that there is an underlying beauty in everything. But the thought process or the actual execution of art was very different also. But it did help me to understand that all forms of art are equally important. Before I went to boarding school at the age of 5, I think I was drawing, definitely drawing. And drawing anything, more representational, of course. Anything I saw which I liked. I used to make a lot of birthday cards. I used to design wedding cards for people. It was usually on request. And a little bit of scribbling happened because I had a small blackboard and I had chalk. I think that was my first medium, which is why today perhaps I'm so fond of soft pastels. And that is what I used to do. I remember I used to make all my dolls and animal toys sit in front of me, and I was a teacher. And I would draw something and I had a ruler in my hand. And for many years I was a teacher actually. So I think that is something that I did from the very beginning. My early style was purely representational. I drew what I saw and not too well. But the one thing that I wanted to master was the human figure. And that took a long time to happen. I did animals, I did birds, I did flowers. And then perhaps the background in my family, I started drawing Krishna. And I think drawing Krishna over and over again is what taught me how to do the human body. And from Krishna, I then went on to doing the Devis. and other gods. But I think the human form was important. But it had to be beautiful and it had to have some divinity. That was important for me. So I turned to mythology. My grandmother used to tell us very interesting stories, and that is what I think I started painting. So I started with realism because that was the only thing I was exposed to. I came to see and appreciate abstract art very, very late in life because in my home there was nothing abstract. And it was all beautiful art and beautiful statues and sculpture of men and women and animals and birds and gods and goddesses. And that's what I saw and that's what I painted. You know, about color, I loved color from the very beginning. And I didn't know anything about color. I didn't know that there are certain colors you don't put next to certain colors. I didn't know about mixing color. I just did it. I think it was a very natural thing for me because I loved every color. In fact, neutrals were something I didn't understand in the early days. It's only now that I realize that you cannot have a good piece of artwork unless it is balanced with a lot of neutral and negative spaces. So my work was very colorful and can still be because I just go for all the colors. I love the rainbow. I love the colors. So the funny thing is that today I'm an abstract artist. I do not want to paint anything real because there is a sense of freedom in doing abstract art which I didn't find. I mean, not that anybody told me, I'm self-taught. So nobody told me to stay within the box or paint this or paint that or don't use this color or use that color. These rules were not for me because, as I said, I'm self-taught. But somehow, drawing the same thing over and over and over again, I think I'd reached my limit and I realized I had suddenly seen other works which were fascinating. Shapes and lines and marks. And I said, I just wanted to explore them. And in exploring them, I realized the kind of freedom and also each artwork then becomes an intellectual exercise because you have to ask the questions. In realism, I think you're sort of answering questions. But in abstract work, you're the one asking the questions. And this putting down a mark or putting down a line and then reacting to it and then thinking about it. People think abstract art is nothing. They think it's very easy to do, but let me tell you, I've put in 14 years of my life into this. Each abstract art requires my full concentration and my very soul. Realistic art, you look at something, you pretty much know how a human body is drawn. You know what to do with flowers and leaves or with animals and birds. With abstract art, you make a line and then you have to say, you have to stop and you have to ask yourself so many questions. What will look nice with this? Should I use color? Should I use just black and white? So it has opened up a whole new world for me. Yes, in 2018, I just felt the need not to look at anything and paint. I just wanted to do something on my own. Make my own lines, make my own marks. And I think my journey had reached a point where it had become very predictable and because it had also become a little boring, to be honest. And I knew that there was a whole fountain of something inside me just compelling me to try something different. So in 2018, I started with very small abstracts. And I just loved it. I found the kind of freedom in that which I didn't find in realism. And I suppose 2018 is that year. And that's when I started. You know, people always ask me about this blank canvas and how I start. And I've read and I've heard people say that a blank canvas can be very intimidating. But, you know, I have to honestly say that it has never bothered me. A blank canvas is a blank canvas waiting for me to start some work on it. I just look at it that way. But it's true, in abstract work, I use the pencil first, or maybe some charcoal, usually a pencil, and just scribble on it. So some strokes then, start looking like something. I'm not painting anything, I'm not drawing anything, but those curves then and those lines suddenly have a life of their own. And they somehow dictate what should come next. And they also give options that I could go this way or I could go that way. And so in the beginning, I used to make many at one sitting and then keep the ones that I liked better and reject the ones. Reject is a very hard word. I would put those aside for later use and work on them later. But basically, it's just starting work on a canvas. And then each line or mark that you make, I think somehow automatically leads you to the next one. So I don't find it challenging, except that there are so many options. It's the options that are challenging. So you have to know whether you need fine lines or now thicker ones. Do you need to leave space? Do you need a different color? That's what I find, that the options are challenging. I think I'm still too new to abstract art to answer this. Everything is happening. There's still florals coming into my abstract art. There are, I think, figures coming into my abstract art, and I'm fighting against them. I don't want to do anything, but so many years of practice of realism, I think you can't just sort of will it away. It's going to come, but then if it does come, I try and abstract it. I think recently I've done something that looks like insects, but they're not meant to be insects. It's like, the ability to see something in a cloud. Some say, oh, that's an elephant in the cloud. That's what happens to me. In my house, in the living room where we are sitting, there is some mark on the stone. And I've shown it to other people. It looks like a woman, and they agree with me. So I have this habit of finding familiar shapes even in the abstract that I do. And it can get very confusing. But ultimately, what is abstraction? It is refining something to its minimum. So I think the inspiration may still be from this real world, but I really don't know. I think you'll have to ask me this many years later. My work has to be beautiful. It has to be colorful, it has to be beautiful, it has to be attractive to me. If I'm attracted by it and I like it, basically I'm painting for myself. I think all artists paint for themselves, or they should if they're not doing that. And then it's a wonderful thing if others like it. But ultimately, you can't paint or draw for somebody else because you're doing it. It has to come from within you. So as long as it's a joyful piece, colorful piece, attractive piece, to me, I think that's what I look at. I think I haven't worked so much on texture yet. I work more on form, and color has always been there. So I think the emotion is happiness and joy. That's the only emotion I care about. And if that happens with my paintings or any artwork that I do, I think that's enough. When people see my art, I want them to smile. And then to go close to the artwork to see what I've done with it. And in the shows that I've had quite a few solo shows, I see that. They go up to the work and they come and I can see that they're pleased. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are not interested in realistic art. And I haven't shown that much abstract art yet. But I hope that I elicit the same kind of smile when they see my abstract art. How many people know me? I don't know what they see in it. When people come up to me, people I've never met, I'm now 76 years old and the DPs are so tiny. I don't recognize people from their photographs on my social media. But they come up to me and through my art. So I've grown to have a community through this art. That is a very fulfilling thing for me. I'm a bit of a loner. I spend a lot of time in the studio. But the fact that there are people watching my Facebook or my Instagram, it's very, very pleasurable and it's very rewarding. The challenges that I faced were that nobody seemed to be interested in my art. From childhood, I realized that there was such superior art in the house that, I think it was enough for everybody. Nobody took me seriously. I didn't take myself seriously. And, but it was a yearning and it needed to be fulfilled in some way. So I was into a marriage where there was trouble, and then you know how it is. You get married, you have children. There are other things to think about. I came to art much, much later in life. I had no challenges like artists have with money or with art supplies or even space. I didn't have that kind of a problem. But I think it was a lack of confidence on my own part, which was my biggest challenge, because I hadn't done anything. So that was the biggest stumbling block. How I overcame it, I don't really know. I did see some very bad work and it was being exhibited. And I told myself, now this may sound very cocky, but I told myself, if this artwork can be exhibited, I can definitely do a good job. Maybe not a super job, but a good job. Art has helped me, I think, to get back my self-esteem. That is the biggest achievement. It has given me an identity. It is something that is solely mine, doesn't belong to anybody else. And it's from within. So it's my soul. It's me. I mean, nothing can be more me than my art. This is the feeling I have. And people ask me, what have you learned about the world through your art? And I say, I don't understand the world at all. It's a very complicated place. I prefer my art, and the world can look after itself. The proudest moment of my artistic journey, I think, was in 2019 when I was able to do a solo show at the Visual Arts Gallery. It had 208 works. It took me just over a year to do them. And that was the first time I introduced abstract art along with realistic art. Of course, and very few people looked at the abstract art, I have to say. And they were also very small. I don't know whether that was the reason or whether my kind of clientele likes my realistic work. But for me, it was a great achievement because I worked the whole of 2018 into creating those pieces. I had about 60 small pieces, very small pieces of abstract art. And I was interviewed for the first time, maybe in 2017 by Mujato, and then I was interviewed by Doordarshan. So that was, I was very surprised, but it also gave me great elation. My artistic journey is wonderful. That's all I can say. But I can't describe it. I can't define it. I'm enjoying it hugely. I'm loving every moment I spend in the studio. And I think it's very, very fulfilling. I'd rather be in my studio than anywhere else. My advice to the younger generation who are now entering this field or who are in it is that please don't give up. And don't think that you are not good enough. You are very good and you will continue to get better. The more time you spend, the more time you give this art, the more fulfilling it's going to be. And you know, I read a beautiful book by Malcolm Gladwell many years ago, which also actually influenced my artistic journey. Perhaps that's what I should say was one of the defining moments. In 2017, my son-in-law gave me a book by Malcolm Gladwell called The Outliers. And of course, they talk about Bill Gates and all the big people, Steve Jobs, and how they achieved what they achieved. But the most important thing I took away from that book was that if you can give 10,000 hours seriously to whatever it is you're doing, you can achieve mastery. And I said, 10,000 hours? That's not really much. It's not 10 lakh hours. And I told myself, it's going to be not just 10,000 hours, it's going to be 20,000 hours, if I can help it. And yes, so I would tell them, just do it, keep doing it. Now, you know, I find that a lot of artists will say, please draw or paint for 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. I'm not one of those people. Sometimes I work for 24 hours. And some days I just sit and think about what I want to do next. I don't move a finger. So but I'm just involved in it. Whether I'm sitting, or I think in my dreams also, constantly, very often I've woken up and gone into the studio because I suddenly realized, oh, that artwork requires something else. So I don't go by, there are no rules. The rules you have to make up yourself. But don't give up. This is what I'll say. My age, I don't have much time. And so I just have to put in one day, I have to find many more hours in one day than there are. And so that's what keeps me inspired. Because I hope that even now, when I still have time, I can just make many more artworks than I've been able to make. But more than that I can leave some kind of a legacy behind for my children, where they can remember me as not only their mother, but as a good artist. My message for this world through my art is, भाई कुछ पेंट वेंट कर लो, ये लड़ाई झगड़े क्यों करते हो? हर जगह धूमधाम, बारूद, ये बंदूकें. Do something beautiful. You're going to grow spiritually. And when people grow through art, you have to grow spiritually. And when you grow spiritually, violence goes out of your life. That's the biggest thing. I think the biggest give of any kind of art is, firstly, you're never bored. You're always occupied. You grow in your own eyes. And you are concerned with improving your life, not with what others are doing, what your neighbors are saying. There's no gossip, there's no waste of time, there's no boredom. And basically, if we are all involved in doing something we like, I think the violence will go out of this world. And Neerajj actually called me up 2 years after I started my work. I had started painting Krishnas. And we had a long chat on the phone. I didn't know him at all. And he said, I like your Krishnas. And can I have some of those Krishnas? Maybe he meant for a show. And I remember telling him that, because I was very new to this line. I didn't, as a self-taught artist, I'm an outlier artist. I'm an outside artist. So I don't know the galleries. I don't go to galleries. I don't promote my art except on social media. So I told him, I said, I do all the work and the galleries take these hefty commissions and my prices are so very low that I don't think it's worth it at this time. But that was me 2 years into this. And then, as I've put in 14 years, I was reminded that he's the one artist and gallery owner who called me up himself. So it was only natural that I would call him. He's been extremely helpful, he's guiding me, he's my curator, my mentor, and hopefully we're going to achieve great things together. So kudos to Neerajj Mittra.
Yay! Keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. Thank you. You're so amazing. You're so amazing.